112 tantric yoga teachings for opening the divine in everyday life. And Sutra number 9 says, embrace each of your senses in turn, seeing as being touched by light, hearing as immersion in an ocean of sound, tasting as enlightening, smelling as knowing, touching as electrifying. Then leave all these behind. Enter the spaciousness of the heart, intimate with the unknown. So this quality of attending provides a larger view to hold whatever is happening, whatever is emerging in the mind, whatever feelings we're having. When we can tenderly open the heart to what's happening, we have a broader, we have more space to deal with what comes and goes. And this is what I mean by cultivating more tolerance. It seems to me that it's a practice of allowing the heart to be more and more open and resting in the spaces that surround the things we find ourselves concerned about. There's space around our worries. And sometimes we're so attached to the worry that we don't recognize that there's a space around it that we can actually rest in and take refuge in. And that's the shift when we're watching our experiences, when we're being mindful with wisdom, when we're watching through right view and right intention. When we do this, we're also training the nervous system to relax and rewire itself. We're creating neural pathways, capacity to experience liberation, to embody the freedom to tolerate it. Moment clinging to greed, ill will, or delusion, we experience liberation. Liberation is experienced as an opening, relaxed, quick glimpse that kind of blinks or flirts with us through our meditation practice on or off the cushion. Sometimes these experiences last for a few seconds and even longer. It's the soft spaces in between our fixations, in between our attachments, and in between our need to have something go our way. And it's the noticing of it sometimes that we are so unaware of. Each time we soften our hearts and allow ourselves to be touched by the moment, we are liberated. To have even a few seconds of this freedom can affirm our faith in the likelihood that liberation really is something we can open to in our lifetime, in this moment, and with this next breath. So freedom is being free from mental conflict. When there is zero resistance to life, fighting with life, there is freedom. So here's something you can think about in your practice, either on the cushion or in your everyday life. You can ask yourself these questions. Am I aware? What am I aware of? How am I relating to my experience right now? What stands in the way of me and freedom in this moment? What can I let go of a bit more right here, right now? And what kind of breath would really feel good in this moment? In practice, when you still the body and you begin to focus on the breath, I think most of us would agree that sometimes the mind starts doing a cha-cha-cha and a whole lot of other things that happen. We have this movie that we get to see. And it's kind of like figure ground. So if we find ourselves attached to one piece of the movie, then there's a lot of things around it that we don't see. Just as when pain comes up in meditation, when we find ourselves so into the pain that our focus is just really zeroed in on the pain. And the idea is to open the lens as if you were in a helicopter even, kind of looking at the situation. And what you'll see probably is that there's probably a lot more space around what's happening than just that narrow focus. There's always the figure, and then there's something in the background that's holding it. There are the things that arise and pass away, but what's there when it's not arising? And so the space that we can begin to not only see, but feel into and rest into and take refuge in is always there. It's just that our focus is so tight on what's arising, and we're so over-identified with it that we can't notice anything other than that. It takes up all the space in our mind's eye. So wherever you are, if you're in line and you're feeling tension, even in this moment, ask those questions. Am I aware? What am I aware of? Are there thoughts? Are there feelings? Am I doing battle with something? Am I soft? Am I tight? Begin to just open to that inquiry gently, and then invite that next question, which is, what is my relationship to what's going on? How am I relating to what's happening? Because therein lies the opportunity for liberation. It's not what happens, it's our relationship to it. It's always the opportunity.